Alright, everyone. It has been a minute since I have done one of these, and basically, we are reacting to the press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, briefs members of the media on April 22nd, 2025. I keep recording these and then not uploading them because it's kind of weird to upload them like so many days after it happens, and I want to edit them to make them somewhat watchable and not super long, obviously, and it just ends up being a whole thing. But this one I'm hopefully going to get out. And we're watching today because we have a special guest. It's Tim Pool, of all people. Tim Pool is in the briefing room, people, and it is going to be glorious, I am sure. Let's just get into it. First things first, I love to do a little fit check on our girl Caroline here. For anyone who needs to know up front, I am very sarcastic, and I would like to make it very clear I don't like Caroline Leavitt. Terrible person who is spewing propaganda for the Trump administration. Fit check. She's wearing pants today. That's a little bit of an odd choice for her. Normally she wears a dress or a skirt. I like this look on her. I'll be real, I like her in less of the typical sort of dresses and skirts. I think that she pulls off a nice pantsuit well. I think that she should really invest in that more. I think that that would be a good thing for her.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good to see you all. The thoughts and prayers of the entire White House remain with all of the Catholics around the world who are mourning the death of Pope Francis. Pope Francis touched millions of lives and dedicated his life to serving the Catholic Church. As a mark of respect for his memory, President Trump ordered flags be flown at half-staff, and he will...
Okay, one note, and this is just the jewelry-loving person in me. I like the earrings, don't love the matching of the gold earrings with the silver buttons. I think you need to pick one or the other. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, if you're gonna wear gold, wear gold. If you're gonna do silver, do silver. Otherwise, I like this outfit. It's probably above average for Caroline, so good for her.
U.S. Customs and Border Protection recorded its lowest southwest border crossings in history in March, and we're seeing the same successes at our northern border. Here's how the New York Post put it.
Look, I'm gonna be real with you. I can't believe a goddamn word that comes out of these motherfuckers' mouths. I want to. I want to believe them when they say things that like are supposed to sound good. I don't really care about people crossing the border if I'm being real with you, but it's supposed to sound good, I guess. And I can't I don't believe you. You guys lie so damn much. Also, for anyone who, is here with me and watching this with me, I'm going to speed this up to 1.3 speed because we'll be here all night. Hope you don't mind.
According to U.S. Customs and Border Protection, just 54 illegal aliens were apprehended.
Also, they always put up something like the New York Post or something, and it's like, this is, again, why should I believe you when you're putting up shit like from the New York Post? Like, yes, the most reputable, the most reputable of sources. Sorry about that. I'm gonna leave it in. It's fine.
Thanks to President Trump, operational control of the border is becoming a reality, and the administration's historic enforcement measures are yielding huge results. Illegal aliens are finally getting the blunt message. If you cross the border illegally, you will be swiftly deported and never return to the United States of America.
I'm sorry, but am I the only one who thinks it's like cruel to do shit like that? I get it, whatever, enter the country legally, oh, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, most of these people are not criminals. The majority of these people are not criminals, despite what Donald Trump and his administration say. If you believe that, you are gullible. I'm sorry. If you believe that the majority of people coming in illegally are violent criminals, you are gullible. There's nothing else I can say to that. They're not. So the majority of these people are just people who want to come here and live in our country and have a better life. And the response to that is get the fuck out. Not just get the fuck out, but sometimes we'll arrest you and violently like deport you either to fucking CCOT or just wherever the fuck we want. And it's just like, what the fuck? This is so America, the great American melting pot, has now decided that it is no longer accepting guests. What a great fucking way to go, guys. We're doing great. We're having a grand old time here. It's so obviously about being like racist and shitty and thinking lesser of these people. It's not about actual immigration concerns. Immigrants don't actually have a real effect on your life. They're not taking jobs from you. They're not taking money from you. They're not hurting you in any way. You're just being foolish. You're being gullible and you're buying into the Republicans' fucking narrative. And I'm sorry to be the one to tell you that, but I'm sure you've heard it before. So it's just, I don't know. It's so cruel. It's just cruel. I don't think that that should be the reaction. That's not how this fucking country was built, and that's not how this fucking country is gonna survive. You can't do that. This country was built on immigration. Rant over. Sorry.
ICE Miami arrested a Nicaraguan convicted of aggravated battery in Hillsborough County, Florida.
They put the wrong text up here. She just said aggravated battery. Unless this is a different man. They never have they do these like PowerPoints and stuff and they're always so like I was doing better shit in fucking middle school. Are we okay? Hire me. Hire me to do it. You know what? If the Trump administration were to hire me to do fucking PowerPoints, I'd do it. I would not be hired for very long because I would purposefully fuck them up. Okay, let's just get back to it.
And ICE Chicago arrested a Mexican national convicted of aggravated sexual abuse of a minor in Illinois. Despite the Democrats' insane objection.
Oh, they switched them. You see that? They got this one switched with the other one. I don't know if the pictures are switched as well. This one, she says sexual assault, but it's aggravated battery. And the other one, she said aggravated battery, but it said sexual assault. While editing this, I actually noticed that the one right before, the earlier one where they messed up, they got the city wrong, I think. And it's actually the city that the last person was from. It's weird. They're kind of a bunch of them are screwed up. That's the quality this administration is putting out. It's a small thing, but I like to I don't know. I just thought you should know. It also makes me question the validity of these claims if they are getting them wrong when they show them in the PowerPoint. It's kind of like, are you just making this up as you go? It kind of seems like you're making it up as you go. They got them switched. I'm sorry. This is my stupid ADHD brain kicking in. I don't even know why I noticed that.
In other news, the Trump administration has announced we will put an end to Joe Biden's illegal student loan bailout attempts. No student loan has been referred to collection since March of 2020. That comes to an end. On May 5th, the Department of Education will resume involuntary collections for borrowers with defaulted federal student loans. The student loan portfolio controlled by the federal government is nearly $1.6 trillion. But fewer than 4 out of 10 borrowers are in repayment. This is
gonna fuck over so many people, bro. This country should stop giving money to fucking Israel and then maybe use that to fucking pay off the debt. Just maybe education is a right. What if we started treating education as a right? A lot of other countries do. It wouldn't kill us. It'd actually be, very beneficial and better for us because ultimately I do think education is a fucking right. Everyone has a right to education. Everyone should have an education if that is what they want. And it should be free. Because how do you fucking advance society unless you give people access to education so that they can better themselves and grow into people who can advance society? And ultimately, I'd have no problem paying for the education of somebody else. At the end of the day, it benefits me. And even if it didn't benefit me, I'd have no problem because I think everyone deserves that fucking opportunity. But if you need a fucking motivation, consider the fact that it benefits you and society to have this person learn and grow as a human being, and maybe, they'll create something that'll make your life easier or something, or benefit your life in some way, shape, or form. But that is how society continues and prospers. Not by fucking blocking people out of education like a fucking freak.
Unsustainable, unfair, and a huge liability for American taxpayers. Debt cannot be wiped away. It just ends up getting transferred to others. So why should Americans who didn't go to college or went to college and responsibly paid back their loans pay for the student loans of other Americans? The Trump administration will never force taxpayers to pay student.
Because we live in a society and we all benefit from it. That's why. Boo fucking who? You have to pay a little bit extra at the end of the day so that somebody else gets to have an education and it benefits you because ultimately they benefit society. And that is how society fucking works. Like, you live in a community, you live in a society. You gonna fucking perform surgery on yourself? No. This could even go for like trade school and shit like that. So, I need to stop swearing. This could even go for fucking trade school, you know? It's like you get someone who maybe wants to be a plumber, or wants to be an electrician, or wants to do whatever. You're already paying for their education. You're just skipping a step. You're just skipping a step. That's it. You're skipping a step. It just goes directly to the fucking loan repayment, and it doesn't go through the person. That's it. You're skipping a step. But at the end of the day, you should pay for it because you benefit from their services and you benefit from their contributions to society. Call me crazy, but that's my goddamn take on it.
All right, let's get to it. We have an individual in our new media seat today. His name is Tim Pool. He's a political commentator and a media entrepreneur with millions of followers, a very big platform. Currently hosts Timcast IRL, a daily news and discussions show, and The Culture War, a weekly podcast exploring cultural and political issues. His programs feature in-depth conversations on topics such as free speech, censorship, identity politics, and societal change, often engaging with a diverse range of guests. He's in Washington today because we are also hosting a local media row across the street in the Eisenhower Building, which is a testament to our commitment to bring new voices into the White House to cover the president and this administration. So, Tim, why don't you kick us off today?
Yes. Many of the news organizations that are represented in this room have marched in lockstep on false narratives, such as the Very Fine People hoax, the Covington smear, and now what's being called the Maryland Man hoax, where an MS-13 gang member adjudicated by two different judges, I believe, is just simply being referred to as a Maryland Man over and over again. Now, in an effort from the White House to expand access to new companies,
Ah, yes, centrist Tim Pool. There he is. Like, what do you mean the Maryland Man hoax? Like, why is he making it sound like fucking someone saw Bigfoot in Maryland and it's like the Maryland Man hoax? Like, have you seen the Maryland Man? It's so. Like, this is a man who has lived in Maryland, who is in a fucking union. His union fucking members want him back. His wife wants him back. Everyone in this fucking life wants him back. The judges did not rule he was a MS-13 gang member. They did not rule he could be deported. He was here legally. He had a work fucking permit. And they just sent him to El Salvador. To CCOT. Just send him fucking home and admit your mistake. But you can't, because then you'll have everybody know exactly what happens when you're picked up by ICE and sent to CCOT, and you don't want that. You don't want a first-hand account. I get it. I get it. That's really bad for business.
You rightfully pointed out the Maryland Man story, which I, from this podium, when The Atlantic published it, on that very first day, I came to this podium and said, this is wrong. The press in this room have this story wrong, and we have seen more and more evidence come to the table that we have had all.
What evidence? There's been no evidence. That's the problem with you people. You never give evidence. That's the problem, bro. That's the problem, Caroline. Caroline, remember when you said you had evidence that Mahmoud Khalil was a fucking terrorist supporter and that you had flyers? But you left them back in your office. Conveniently, you left them back in your office. Caroline, you never show evidence. You never show evidence. This is what pisses me off. They never fucking show evidence. They'll be like, we've seen plenty of evidence, blah, 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 yappity, yappity, yap. No, you fucking haven't. We've seen only evidence that suggests the contrary of what you say. All of the evidence is against you. But they just lie. They lie. They lie. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Jane Fonda, save me. Jane Fonda, save me. Okay. I'm fine. It's okay. We're good. It's all right. Everything's fine. Everything's Gucci. The world is not on fire. It's fine. Caroline, you keep talking. Take it away, girl.
All along, we were always right. The president was always on the right side of this issue to deport this illegal criminal from our community. And it is despicable to see the media continue to refer to this individual as someone who is
nothing that confirms he is a criminal. Just saying.
Just a peaceful man living his life in Maryland. This was and always has been.
That is exactly what he was. That's exactly what he was. A peaceful man. Just a man living a peaceful life in Maryland. That is exactly what he was. That is exactly what he was until you came along and ripped him away from that peaceful life in Maryland. Goddamn.
Setting the stage for a deal with China, what does that mean? Has the president spoken directly with Xi yet?
I don't have anything to read out on a direct talk between the president and President Xi, but we will continue to keep you updated.
And Secretary Bessent.
So no. No. The answer's no. The answer's no. Because if he had, he would be bragging about it. He would be bragging about how, oh, Xi called me. He called me, everybody. He finally called me. G, he called me. Like, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. He would have told us by now. He would have told us himself if China had called. You know? So, I don't think he's talked to them. I just don't. Sorry. Rip.
China, first on immigration. Roughly how many illegal immigrants and aliens do we have in our country, and how many does the administration plan on deporting?
Sure. Well, you'd have to ask the Department of Homeland Security for a specific number, but we suspect it's definitely in the millions, perhaps upwards of 20 million people that were allowed into the country illegally by the previous administration. And the president and his team are focused on deporting as many as we possibly.
Okay, here's the problem when they say illegally. They don't mean like they came in and were just completely undocumented, whatever. What they're saying is that they legally immigrated here through the fucking app that Biden had. And from what I understand, they're trying to argue that like that's not valid and that the people who came here through the app are no longer here legally. And I'm pretty sure that's what they mean when they say we have millions.
We can, and they are moving as quickly as possible. The president's team has made it clear we need more funding from Congress to do more. We need more ICE agents out on the ground doing this very important work. And we also need rogue district court judges to stop acting as judicial activists, trying to.
The real reason that they're fucking going after student loans again. They need money to deport people. They need money to destroy more communities and destroy more lives. Wow. Who could have thought? You know, maybe you should take that money from the army or from Israel. Plenty of money in those places.
Over 250,000 Chinese nationals in our country right now on student visas. Does the administration believe there's any national security concern when it comes to those over 250,000 Chinese nationals in our country?
Well, as you know, when it comes to foreign visas, the Secretary of
What an insane fucking question to ask. That's so fucking racist. And they'll argue it's under like the guise of like China's a foreign threat, blah blah blah. It's just Red Scare propaganda in 2025. That's it. That's it. They're like, oh, China's fucking communist, blah blah blah. That's it. It's Red Scare propaganda. Why is that scary? Why is that fucking scary? Why is communism still scary to people in 2025? Get the fuck over it. Grow the fuck up. You are not a fucking sheep. Oh my god. Pisses me off.
They are looking at individuals who are given the privilege of being on a visa in our country, and if they are acting, again, adversely.
Basically, if you're protesting Israel, you have to go.
The Department of Commerce's own stats know that from a lot of show that from a lot of countries, the number of visitors is falling. So, do White have any message for people that might be reconsidering business or tourism travel to the U.S.?
Where did you see that report?
The statistics come from the Department of Commerce.
Said what? It's hard to hear you. Sorry.
That visitors from a lot of countries have fallen in the last 3 months.
I'd have to look at that report to comment on the merits of it. I think most people around the world recognize the United States of America is a great place to do business. It's a beautiful place to visit, and they should certainly come here because it's a much safer country than it was 4 years.
He literally got it from the Department of Commerce, and she's like, I'd have to see the numbers on that. Like, no, bitch, you just don't have a fucking rehearsed answer for it because you weren't prepared for this question. You have to go back and get your talking points from whoever gives them to you. It's so fucking obvious. It's like, oh, no, she just wasn't prepared to answer this. She does great when she has her talking points, but when you catch her off guard, Caroline kind of fumbles. She kind of doesn't know what she's doing. She's got to be like, "Oh, I'll get back to you. I gotta check the numbers on that, bro." It's like the fucking Department of Commerce. Are you saying we can't trust the Department of Commerce?
The question about this upcoming announcement from HHS to ban food dyes. During the first week of the administration, the FDA announced that it's pulling its plan to ban menthol cigarettes. So 2 questions for you. How do you square a ban on menthol cigarettes being pulled and then announcing this ban on food dyes? And then how does the president feel about this upcoming ban that RFK is going to announce?
Sure. Well, look, the Secretary of Health and Human Services, the president nominated him because he trusts him to make this country healthy again. It's not just a slogan. It really is a movement that has broken ground across the country. There's millions of people who believe in RFK Jr., Secretary Kennedy, and what he's doing. I don't want to get ahead of HHS with this historic announcement later and the details of it, but obviously the Secretary feels that he has reason and evidence to announce the ban on artificial dyes later, and I'll let him speak to that this afternoon. Phil.
Nothing, absolutely nothing on the ban on the pulling of the ban on cigarettes. She's so good. She's so good. It's so easy. It's not that hard to do, but she's so good at it. She just does it. She just avoids it, and no one presses her on it. No one gets to ask that question again. Like sometimes, like the next person will be like, Back to that previous question. Can you just like clarify on this one thing or something? Like sometimes they'll do that. For something like this, I don't imagine the next person is going to be like, "Hey, can you answer the part about the cigarettes? You kind of missed that part." It's so easy when there's no one pressing back against you, man.
If you work for the government, you should be adhering to the will of the American public and advancing the administration's goals and interests. And if you are not doing that, then you should go find another job whose interests you align with. So as for specific firings, I would defer you to the specific.
Well, that's an insane thing to say. She literally just said that if you work for the government, you have to agree with what the government says. If you work for a conservative fucking administration, a conservative, government, you yourself have to be conservative as well. You yourself should be conservative or else, What if the administration breaks the rules? What if they break the law? This person should not break the law for them. They should, do the right thing and report that. But Caroline here thinks if you're working for an administration, you should just do whatever the fuck they say, even if that means breaking the law. That's cool. That's sick.
Specific agencies, but the president in this move and Office of Personnel Management, it will make it easier to get rid of rogue bureaucrats who are engaging in corruption.
Easier to get rid of rogue bureaucrats that are engaging in corruption. Basically, easier to fire people before they can go to HR. Easier to fire people and easier to get away with it before they can fucking sue you. That's great.
I saw the president truthing about the garbage pileup from China in the Pacific, and then I believe
Truthing. Also, I don't know if she's like the replacement, but there's usually a woman over on the right near where Tim Pool is who asks the most insane questions. Like she asked the question about his physical that was going around on Twitter the other day. And she just asks the most ridiculous questions. I love her. I hate her, but I love her. I kind of miss her. I thought I would be glad that she wasn't here, but I kind of miss her. Oh, I don't know. Am I getting parasocial with it? Uh-oh.
So let's just be clear about one thing. We didn't end that proactively. It expired. And it's because the previous administration illegally paroled millions of people, or hundreds of thousands of people, into the country, and then gave them temporary protective status, which again is a temporary status. It's not a permanent.
There they go. They're acting like that's fucking illegal. It's not illegal. There's nothing illegal about that. They are here legally.
Obviously complying with the court's order. However, it was a temporary pause. The Supreme Court basically said, sit tight and they will follow up with an order. And we're confident that the Supreme Court will rule on the side of law and recognize the president absolutely has the executive authority to deport foreign terrorists from our nation's interior under the Alien Enemies Act. We feel very strongly about that, and we're confident the courts will side with the president and his.
But if they don't, we're just not going to bother. If they don't, we're just not going to do anything. That's the precedent they've already set, is that they're just going to ignore the Supreme Court. Why start listening now?
Iran has a choice to make, but the president has also made it very clear, and he reiterated that in his call with Prime Minister Netanyahu today about the need for Iran to never obtain a nuclear weapon. I do have one more bit of news that I would like to share.
Maybe we should get rid of our nuclear weapons first. Bold suggestion, I know, but what if, as a sign of good faith, we got rid of our nuclear weapons first? Then everyone can follow, right? Sure. I would love to see a world with no nuclear weapons. I would love to see a world where America has no nuclear weapons. Yeah, I said it. I'll be the radical. Like, come on, dude.
With all of you. Just give me 1 second to find it. And it's in regards to the terrorist attack that took place in India earlier today. The president has been briefed by the National Security Advisor, and he's being kept up to speed as more facts are learned. What we know already is dozens were killed and even more were injured in a brutal terrorist attack in a popular tourist location in South Kashmir. President Trump will be speaking with Prime Minister Modi as soon as he possibly can to express his heartfelt condolences for those lost. And our prayers are with those injured and our nation's support for our ally India. These types of horrific events by terrorists are why those of us who work for peace and stability in the world continue our mission. So we'll give you a readout of that call later this afternoon. There's a lot of work to be had. You may hear from the president later this afternoon as well, and we'll see you all later. Thank you.
For any Americans among those dual American citizens.
All right, that's it. I'm gonna be real with you. She kind of kills me when she goes from a serious topic to like, and I'll see you guys later. Bye. The day Donald Trump was looking at Teslas, I believe it was a Fox News cameraman had passed away, and they had like a moment of like memorial for him. They were like, he will be missed, R.I.P., all that jazz. And she basically went, and you might see the president in a Tesla later, so keep an eye out. Goodbye. And it was like, what a mood shift. Oh my God, Caroline. That's it. I wanted to do this because I think these are fun. I have a little fun every now and again, just kind of reacting to shit. I always come away from this with the same feeling of just kind of fuck this administration. They suck. They're gonna keep doing awful shit, and I'm ready for it to be over with. And we're barely into this shit. We're barely into it. I'm ready for it to be over, and we are barely into it. This first year is gonna be rough. I'm hoping that maybe after this, the next 3 will fly by, but I think this first year is gonna be real rough for us. All right, that's it. I will talk to you all later. Peace, love, and all that jazz. Be nice to each other. That's all I got. Bye.